Okay, I wanted to take the time to briefly show how we can use automated tools to accomplish data entry efforts and labeling inside of an ArcMap environment. The reason that we develop these tools is, and we spend a lot of time doing this, is in order to really speed up the production of labels. In particular, the example I'm going to show here is an example where we have many points, but each point has several lines of data attached to it, and we don't know what those data necessarily are beforehand. So really working out the logic within a script to be able to do this and automate this is really important, especially when data changes. So one of the things that I want to show here is this tool set menu where we can add new records to an empty table. This is an ARC info table that we're going to then link to a point feature class and then create our labels. So whoever the data person is that's responsible for getting analytical data to you would deliver a data set, and in this particular example we have it formatted as such. The formats of the input need to match. So there's some triggers that really make this meaningful. One is the media type. In this instance we're looking at soil, and the other is the map type. There's going to be many duplicates. In other words, there may be an SBO1 that occurs several times throughout many different constituents of concern that we have. Those parameters right here being BAP, methyl naphthalene, benzene, lead, etc., etc. We can also have them in different media. We're only looking at soil right now, but we can also have another thing. Maybe we want it to show up in a surface soil or a regular soil. Any type of trigger that you're going to use to really turn this label off and on needs to be built into the input data set. I'm not going to save this, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just run this tool. So I'm going to look for that input file right now. So I'm going to navigate to the CSV file that's the input from whoever your data person is, and then there's the info table that it gets pumped into, and then you also have to then just assign a scratch database for this. For this, I'm just going to use any default database. And then you can see right now this table has no records in it. I'm going to go ahead and run this tool, and it's going to go through here and it's going to populate all the data into the table. And when we open this table up again, you can see that it has now populated all of this data in here. And you see we have our, there's different data that are for different maps. We've got surface soil maps, wetlands, sediment maps, etc., etc. Okay, well, how does this mean? How do we then use this info table? Well, inside of the labeling properties for this particular sample, we have this pretty complex label expression. I can show you what it looks like right here. And it essentially is going to go through, it's going to grab the source database, it's going to go through and iterate over all the records, find the matches, and then make a multi-line entry. It doesn't really seem like a big deal on the face of it, but inside of ArcMap, this is often a huge bottleneck for map production. So really automating this is a ginormous deal. And so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show inside the expression we want to label surface soils, and inside of here we are interested in PCBs. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and generate the label for this. I'm going to click OK. And you can see when we do this, it does these multi-line labels. We can format everything in here that how we want it to look. For instance, it just adds the values, but we add all the formatting and all the little adverbs and whatever else that we want to add in here. So this is really an intelligent use of, or a case use for automating something that's repeatable. Data changes, you can automate it. This is where this really makes sense. Okay.